The first flash of light tore through the void like a scream. The starship Luminaris shuddered, alarms shrieking as the strange vessel emerged from hyperspace, its surface glinting with colors no human eye could name. Captain Elara Voss gritted her teeth against the vibration. She had trained for encounters with unknown species, but nothing in the manuals prepared her for this. "Report," she barked, voice steady despite the churn of unease in her stomach. Lieutenant Nico Marin's hands danced over the holographic controls. "Unknown origin, Captain. No communication signature. No weapons detected. It's watching us, watching." The word alone set a chill through the crew. The Luminaris had faced hostile fleets before, but nothing that studied them with deliberate patience. The ship pulsed, a soft heartbeat in the darkness, drawing the humans closer. Elara's eyes narrowed. "Prepare the shields. Keep scanners active and, Nico, ready the first contact protocols. We'll see if they want war or conversation." Across the void, the alien vessel shifted. It was massive, impossibly intricate, with limbs that seemed to float rather than move. Its presence was more than physical, it was mental. Thoughts brushed against the humans' minds like distant whispers echoing in an empty cathedral. On the bridge, whispers erupted. "Are they sentient? I've never felt thought like this before." Elara's voice cut through. "All hands focus. Keep your minds clear. Fear is exactly what they want." Nico hesitated. "Captain, I think it's probing. Trying to understand us." Elara's jaw tightened. Let them try. She knew the risk. Human minds were fragile, and the unknown often broke the strongest. Yet, in that same fragility, there was something the aliens couldn't measure. Something primal. A low hum vibrated through the ship. The crew felt it in their bones like the pulse of the galaxy itself. Suddenly, a projection appeared above the bridge, forming shapes that defied human geometry. Colors shifted. Voices resonated, yet no words were spoken. Then a figure emerged, vaguely humanoid, though far too tall, far too fluid in form. Its eyes, or what humans could interpret as eyes, glowed with iridescence. "Humans," it finally spoke, voice echoing in thought and air simultaneously. "You trespass in the uncharted. You survive where others fail. Why?" Elara swallowed, surprised by the calm curiosity. "We adapt. We endure. We survive." The alien tilted its head, a motion both elegant and alien. "You are fragile. Your world is harsh. Your body's weak. Yet you endure what no other species can. How?" Elara could feel 100 questions pressing in the minds around her. The crew wanted answers. They wanted certainty. But she also understood this was the moment humanity revealed its soul. "We fight. We lose. We fail. And we try again," she said, her voice steady but heavy with truth. "We love. We hope. And even when the universe tries to break us, we rise. That is why we survive." A silence followed. Not the absence of sound, but a vacuum of comprehension. The alien's projection flickered, its form shaking as if it struggled to process the paradox. "You are chaos, yet ordered, fragile, yet unyielding. You scare us," the alien admitted, a tremor in its resonance. "How do you carry such contradiction and still endure?" Elara's hand rested on the console, grounding herself. "Because endurance is not just survival. It is belief. It is courage. It is knowing that no matter how dark the universe gets, we will find a spark and hold it, even when it seems impossible." The alien's form pulsed again, faster this time, like a heartbeat speeding toward revelation. "You are a threat. Not for your weapons, not for your fleets, but because you cannot be predicted, you cannot be broken." As the alien retreated, pulling back into the shadows of space, a message remained etched in the minds of the Luminaris crew. "We will watch. We will learn. And we will fear you as we should." Elara exhaled, the bridge silent except for the low hum of the ship's engines. "They understand us. And they're afraid. That, Nico, is our advantage." Nico nodded slowly, eyes wide. "Captain, do you think we're ready for what comes next?" Elara's gaze lingered on the stars. "We'll have to be. Because this is only the beginning." And somewhere beyond the human imagination, the aliens recalculated. Humanity was no longer just another species in the galaxy. Humanity was an enigma. The galaxy was silent after the encounter, but silence, Elara knew, was never empty. The crew of the Luminaris moved like shadows, haunted by the memory of the alien gaze. Even the engines seemed quieter, as if listening for whispers from the void. In the ship's command center, Nico hovered over the scanners, hands trembling despite his training. Captain, they're following us. Not just observing, they're mapping every system we pass, every maneuver we make. Elara leaned over the console, eyes narrowing. And yet they haven't attacked. That's the part I don't understand, Nico muttered. Why study us? Why not strike? Elara's fingers tapped the metal rail. Because they know. They've already sensed what humans are capable of. We survive when others fall. And they're terrified of that. Even if they don't fully grasp it. A sudden alert blared. A storm of cosmic debris and energy readings flared on the scanners. The ship lurched violently, throwing the crew against their harnesses. Report! Elara shouted, gripping the console. Lieutenant Rena Kale's voice trembled. It's a quantum storm, Captain. But it's moving. Deliberately. Like someone or something is steering it toward us. Elara's heart pounded. Nico, evasive maneuvers. Take us through it, fast. No hesitation. The storm twisted and bent in impossible arcs, as if the universe itself had been reshaped by an unseen hand. The ship's hull creaked, metal whining under strain. For the first time, the crew felt true vulnerability, the fragile human vessel against forces no creature should command. Amid the chaos, a voice resonated, not through the speakers but in their minds. Clear, piercing. Why do you not fear death? Elara froze. The question was simple, yet impossible to answer. Fear had its place, but humans did not surrender to it. They acted, even trembling, even broken, and pressed forward. Rena whispered almost to herself, because we have to. Because hope isn't optional. The alien projection flickered into view again, luminous and terrifying. Its form shimmered like liquid crystal, eyes burning with curiosity and disbelief. You are fragile, it said, voice vibrating through thought. Your bodies fail. Your ships break. Your civilizations crumble, and yet you endure. Why? Elara swallowed hard. Because survival is not just living. It's refusing to let fear rule us. It's carrying each other when we are weak and standing when the universe expects us to fall. A pause. The alien's form twisted, almost recoiling. You bind yourselves to uncertainty. You fight not because you must, but because you choose to. That is incomprehensible. The storm outside the ship intensified, pulling at reality itself. Time fractured in shards, flashes of distant galaxies, echoes of past battles, visions of friends lost, loved ones waiting. For a brief moment, every crew member felt their lives hanging on a thread stretched across eternity. Nico gripped Elara's arm. Captain, if this is how the universe sees us, we're just sparks. We can't, Elara cut him off, voice ironclad. No, humans are never just sparks. We are the fire itself, and fire spreads, even through the void. The alien recoiled as the words echoed across the storm. Its projection wavered, a storm of light trembling. Impossible, yet undeniable. You fight chaos with faith, emotion, illogic? Illogic is survival, Elara said, eyes meeting each crew member in turn. Logic fails. Numbers fail. But courage refuses to fail. A sudden calm fell. The storm halted as if the universe itself had held its breath. The ship drifted, battered but intact. The alien's form hovered, scanning, analyzing, still unable to fully process what it had witnessed. Humans, defy expectation. You are... The voice broke, trembling in thought, something new seeping into it. Respect, awe, even fear. You are not predictable, you... Survive. Elara exhaled, exhaustion and relief washing over her. She turned to her crew. You see? Every time the universe throws us off the edge, we climb back. That is why we endure. Rena blinked, voice soft. Do they understand us now? Elara shook her head. No, understanding takes time. They are learning. But one thing is clear. They will never ignore humans again. Outside, the alien ship receded into the darkness, its presence lingering like a shadow in the mind. The galaxy remained vast and unknowable, but for the first time a fragment of it feared humanity. And somewhere beyond the stars, a calculation began. A realization was forming in alien thought. Humanity was not a threat that could be crushed with weapons or strategy. Humanity was a force that could survive the impossible, and perhaps shape the universe in ways no logic could predict. Elara looked at her crew. Rest now. Tomorrow we sail into the unknown, and tomorrow we endure again. The luminaries drifted through the remnant of the quantum storm, silent now except for the soft hum of its damaged engines. Each crew member nursed the invisible bruises of fear, but none dared speak of it aloud. The alien's presence lingered like a shadow across their minds. "Captain," Nico said finally, voice tight, "they're not just following us anymore. They're probing, scanning. The readings, everything we do, they understand it in seconds." Elara's eyes narrowed. "Then we'll do what humans always do. We'll adapt faster." A sudden jolt rocked the ship. Warning lights flared. The hull groaned under invisible pressure. On the viewscreen, stars twisted and bent. Shapes moved within the darkness, hundreds, maybe thousands of vessels, alien and terrifyingly organized. "They've set a perimeter," Rena Kale whispered. "They're hurting us." "Like prey," Elara's jaw tightened. "Prey? No, they haven't learned anything yet. Humans are never prey. They underestimate us at their own peril." From the darkness, a voice slithered into their minds. "You will not escape this. Surrender your vessel. Surrender your crew. You will not survive." Elara's hand tightened on the console. "Surrender is a human word. We don't surrender. We fight, always." The first wave of alien probes struck not with energy or weapons but with a force that manipulated reality itself. Gravity twisted. Time slowed. Crew members felt their thoughts lag. Actions delayed by fractions of a second that felt like minutes. Fear threatened to crack their minds. "Captain, I can't," Nico gasped, gripping the console. Elara cut him off. "Yes, you can. Everyone focus. On me, on each other. Fear is the enemy, but unity is strength." She guided the ship through impossible angles, weaving between distortions that would have destroyed any other species. Every movement was a gamble, yet every gamble paid off. Humans had a strange, unquantifiable skill. Improvisation born of desperation, the kind of courage no algorithm could anticipate. The alien voice returned, tinged with confusion this time. "Your minds, you adapt faster than predicted. Your fear does not stop you, you resist," Elara's eyes blazed. "Resistance is survival. We fall, we rise, and we fight again. You may control physics, space-time, but you cannot control the human spirit." Suddenly, the luminaries jolted violently. A rip in the space ahead threatened to swallow them whole. The crew screamed as instruments failed, lights flickered, and reality itself seemed to twist. "Hold," Elara shouted. "Hold to what you know is real. Trust yourself. Trust each other." The ship shuddered but held. Elara's voice rang over the alarm, steady, calm, unyielding. "Look at me. We are humans. We survive. Every obstacle is an opportunity. Every danger is a lesson. And we will endure." For a moment, silence followed. The storm of alien manipulation hesitated. The luminaries floated, battered but intact, like a fragile leaf refusing to sink in a hurricane. The alien projection flickered, more fragmented than before. Its voice trembled with something new. Awe, fear, curiosity. "You defy probability. Your species exceeds expectation. How do you endure? How do you survive when all logic predicts failure?" Elara's eyes scanned the weary but determined crew. "We endure because we have no choice, and because we choose to rise, even when the universe expects us to fall. Survival isn't just instinct. It's hope. It's love. It's every choice we make in the face of impossible odds." The alien recoiled, almost as if hurt by the concept. "You survive because of belief?" "Yes," Elara said, voice steady. "Belief in each other. Belief in tomorrow. Belief in the fire that refuses to die." A tense pause stretched across the void. The probes retreated, pulling back as if reconsidering the battle entirely. The alien's projection shimmered, a fractured kaleidoscope of thought struggling to comprehend a species that thrived on uncertainty, on chaos, on emotion. Nico let out a long breath. "Captain, did we just—" "Yes," Elara interrupted, eyes on the stars. "We survived. And they learned. We are not merely flesh and metal. We are unpredictability made flesh, and now they will fear it." Outside, the alien fleet hovered, watching, analyzing. Humanity had passed the first test, not by strength, not by technology, but by spirit. The Luminaris crew understood something new too. Survival was more than endurance. It was defiance. And defiance could be contagious. Elara exhaled, the weight of the encounter pressing on her shoulders. "Rest. Tomorrow the galaxy will try something new." And tomorrow, we endure again. The stars seemed to shimmer with promise, and somewhere deep in alien thought a single question burned. How do you defeat a species that cannot be broken? The calm after the first test was fragile, brittle as thin ice. On the Luminaris, exhaustion had settled into every joint, every nerve. The crew moved like ghosts, haunted not only by what had nearly destroyed them, but by the lingering presence of alien observation. Elara sat alone in the captain's quarters, staring at the starfield through the viewport. Every flicker of light reminded her that the galaxy was no longer just vast, it was personal. Every star could conceal a threat. Every shadow could harbor a mind that understood humans far better than humans understood themselves. Nico entered, carrying a datapad but no confidence. Captain, we've been running scans of the aliens' behavior patterns. It's unsettling. Elara didn't look up. Go on. They're adaptive, yes. But they're also hesitant, almost fearful, and yet, every time we rest, every time we argue, every time we falter, they respond faster. They're not just studying us, they're learning from us. Every mistake we make, every tension between crew members, they exploit. Elara finally met his eyes. Then we cannot falter. Not as individuals, not as a crew. Humanity survives together, or it does not survive at all. Nico hesitated, then asked the question he had been avoiding. And what if the part of us that's human, the part that doubts, that panics, what if it fails us? Elara's gaze hardened. Then we face it. That's what makes humans dangerous. Not our strength, not our weapons, but our willingness to face our weaknesses and keep going anyway. Yet the ship itself seemed to protest against this fragile defiance. Systems malfunctioned without explanation. Minor accidents grew more frequent. Crew members argued over trivial decisions, their patience worn thin by fear, and always in the background was the whisper of alien presence, probing, testing, learning. Down in the engineering bay, Rena Kale and her team struggled to repair the hyperdrive. Sparks flew and a low hum of tension filled the air. "Why can't this ever be easy?" muttered Rena, swiping soot from her face. One of the junior engineers, Tavi, flinched. Because we're humans," he said quietly. "We make mistakes, but we fix them, somehow." Rena paused, staring at him. There was truth in his trembling voice. Humans did make mistakes, but they adapted. They learned. They survived. And that made them terrifying to anyone expecting predictability. Meanwhile, on the bridge, Nico reported a new phenomenon. "Captain, the aliens? They're mimicking us. Not physically, but psychologically. They're attempting conversation in our patterns, almost empathy, I think." Elara's brow furrowed. Empathy? Or manipulation? Maybe both, Nico admitted. Either way, it's uncomfortable. Elara leaned back, thinking. The alien mind had to understand humans in ways that defied logic. Fear, hope, despair, courage. No data stream could quantify it. And yet they tried. Every day, every decision, every argument, the aliens learned. They adapted. "Then we must give them something they cannot predict," Elara said finally. "Not tactics, not strategy, but ourselves. The full human spectrum. Joy, anger, love, doubt, every flaw, every strength. We survive because we are messy. Because we care. Because we fight even when it hurts." A sudden alert shattered the quiet. The alien fleet had returned, more organized, more deliberate than before. Probes zipped around the ship, analyzing, testing. The Luminaris shook under invisible forces, gravity twisting like a serpent coiling around them. The crew froze. Fear, fatigue, and tension threatened to break their resolve. And yet something stronger persisted. A stubborn ember of humanity. Elara's voice rang out, cutting through the panic. "Look at me. We are human. We falter, we argue, we grieve, and yet we endure. That is what makes us unstoppable. Hold to that, hold to each other. And fight even when the universe whispers that you can't." The alien projection appeared, fragmented and quivering. "Your species is unpredictable. You falter, yet rise. You doubt, yet endure. Why?" Elara's eyes softened, yet remained fierce. "Because we must. Because we choose to. Because no threat can extinguish what we carry inside." For a moment, the alien seemed to hesitate, almost confused. And then, retreating into the darkness, it left behind a single, chilling realization. Humanity was not just resilient, it was unknowable. But in the quiet that followed, a heavier truth settled over the Luminaris crew. Surviving the universe was not just about facing external threats. It was about confronting the shadows within themselves, and ensuring those shadows never broke their spirit. Elara whispered to herself, gazing at the stars. We are not perfect, but we are human, and that is enough to endure. The Luminaris drifted through the darkness, battered, weary, but unbroken. Outside, the alien fleet loomed, massive and precise, like a storm waiting to strike. Every probe, every flicker of alien thought pressed on the humans' nerves. They were not merely being watched, they were being tested. Captain, Nico said, voice tight. They're herding us toward the Xylar rift. It's a trap. Elara's hands gripped the console, knuckles white. Then we'll make it our trap. Humans survive by turning danger into opportunity. That's what they don't understand. On the bridge, crew members whispered among themselves, tension thick enough to choke. Fear tried to creep into their hearts, but Elara's presence cut through it. We've faced storms, gravity anomalies, even near-death experiences, she said, her voice strong, steady, unwavering. And yet here we are. Every obstacle is a lesson. Every test is an opportunity to rise. Remember that. Remember who we are. Outside, the alien probes moved in anticipation, sensing patterns, predicting reactions. And yet, as humans often did, the crew acted unpredictably. They deployed decoys, shifted maneuvers at the last instant, feinted left while turning right. The aliens recalculated, surprised by each deviation. Rena Kale in engineering worked furiously to reroute energy. If we can overload the secondary drives at the right moment, she muttered to Tavi, we can slip through the rift before they can react. Tavi's eyes widened. That's suicide? Rena smiled grimly. No, that's human. Elara watched from the bridge as the plan unfolded. Every heartbeat, every choice mattered. In humans, resilience was not abstract, it was alive, tangible, dangerous in ways the aliens could not measure. Now, Elara shouted. Hyperdrive overload surged through the ship. The luminaries shuddered violently as energy flared in bright arcs along the hull. The crew braced, fear flashing across their faces, yet determination burned brighter. The luminaries shot forward, decoys spinning in its wake. The aliens attempted to follow, but their calculations lagged just enough. Humans, chaotic and unpredictable, found cracks in precision where no one else could. The rift yawned before them, an endless corridor of swirling energy and cosmic debris. The ship plunged in, engines screaming, hull straining, but the crew endured. Once through, the bridge fell silent, save for the soft hum of steady systems. The alien fleet waited outside, unable to follow. For the first time, humans had dictated the terms of engagement. Elara exhaled, turning to her crew. We did it. Not because of technology, not because of luck, but because we are human. Messy, determined, unpredictable, unbreakable. Nico nodded, awe in his eyes. Captain, they're going to learn faster now. And not just about tactics. They'll study everything, the way we think, the way we doubt, the way we endure. Elara smiled, faint but fierce. Let them. Every lesson they learn, every calculation they make, will be countered by our spirit. That's what makes us dangerous. That's what makes us survivors. Suddenly, the alien voice pierced the minds of the crew again. You are impossible. You bend chaos into endurance. You turn weakness into strength. Why? Elara met the void outside the viewport. Because we fight for more than survival. We fight for each other. We fight for tomorrow. And even when everything seems impossible, we refuse to give up. The alien recoiled, thoughts shivering in confusion and fear. This was not a species that could be fully controlled or predicted. Not a fleet that could be crushed with precision strikes. Humanity's strength was deeper, older and stranger than logic allowed. Rena Kale whispered to Tavi, eyes shining. Did you see that? That's hope. That's humanity. Elara looked at the stars ahead. The galaxy was vast, terrifying, and full of unknown dangers. But humans had discovered a truth that could not be erased. Survival was not just about armor or weapons or speed. Survival was about spirit. And now the humans had shown the first spark of rebellion, a spark the aliens had not expected, a spark that would ignite something far greater than a single ship or a single fleet. The luminaries sailed onward into the unknown, battered but unbroken, carrying a lesson no alien mind could forget. Humans survive because they refuse to be predicted. They endure because they refuse to be broken. And in that refusal lies their power. Outside, the alien fleet lingered, calculating, observing, and realizing something new. Humanity was not just resilient. Humanity was a force of the cosmos itself, and forces like that could not be crushed. Elara exhaled, gaze firm. Tomorrow, the universe will try to break us again, but tomorrow, we endure. Again. The galaxy was alive with unseen tension. The luminaries drifted past star systems, each glowing sun a silent witness to humanity's defiance. The alien fleet had receded, but the shadow of their observation remained, a constant reminder that every choice carried consequences far beyond immediate survival. Elara stood on the bridge, hands clasped behind her back, watching the stars swirl past. "We've survived their first test," she said softly. "But survival alone is not enough. We need a plan. We need allies." Nico frowned, scanning incoming signals. "Captain, there are fragmented transmissions from nearby colonies. They're terrified. Alien scouts have already begun targeting outposts. If we don't act, entire civilizations will fall." Elara's jaw tightened. "Then we act, but carefully. Humans survive because we adapt, not because we charge blindly." Down in the engineering bay, Rena, Kale, and Tavi worked in tense silence, repairing minor systems while debating strategy. "We can't just fight every battle," Rena said. "We're a single ship, but we can inspire. If colonies see humans survive, they might fight back too." Tavi's brow furrowed. "But what if they can't? What if resistance only leads to death?" Rena's eyes hardened. "Then we show them that even in death, humanity leaves a mark. That even when the universe is cruel, the human spirit refuses to vanish." Elara's voice rang over the comms. "Every life we save, every mind we inspire. That's how humans win wars. Others think impossible, not through fleets alone, but through hope." A sudden alert flashed on the bridge. Alien ships had entered a nearby star system, using its gravity as a weapon. Planets trembled, moons cracked. The scope of their strategy was terrifying. "They're not just hunting humans," Nico said, voice grim. "They're testing civilizations, learning what breaks them." Elara's expression remained calm, but her eyes burned with determination. "Then we will show them that humans and those who join us cannot be broken. Not by force, not by fear, not by impossibility itself." The luminaries moved into position, entering orbit around a small colony that had sent a distress signal. Civilians scrambled, alarms blaring. The alien fleet approached, calculations precise, expecting panic, surrender, submission. Instead, humans acted. Teams evacuated civilians with improvised shuttles, barricaded key installations, and coordinated signals to warn neighboring colonies. Every move was risky, every decision measured by courage rather than certainty. From the void, the alien voice resonated again, strange and fragmented. "You expose weakness, yet create strength. You rally others, even when logic predicts despair." "Why?" Elara met the unseen gaze. "Because strength is meaningless without purpose. Because despair is temporary when hope exists. Because humans survive, not alone but together." The alien projection appeared above the colony, shimmering like liquid crystal. Its form twisted with frustration, unable to anticipate the chaos humans created out of order. "You do not follow the patterns," it admitted. "You inspire. You rally. You endure. How is this possible?" Elara stepped forward, voice unwavering. "It is possible because humanity refuses to be predicted. We adapt, we fight, we fail, and we rise again. Every choice we make carries risk, but also possibility. That is what you cannot calculate." Rena Kale's voice crackled over the comms. "Captain, civilians are safe for now, but the aliens are regrouping. They'll strike harder next time." Elara nodded. "Then we prepare. Humans survive every threat because we learn faster than the universe can anticipate. And if it tries to break us, we rise stronger." As the alien fleet withdrew for the moment, a single, chilling thought pressed into the crew's minds. Humanity was no longer merely a species, they were a symbol. A force, an enigma the galaxy could not contain. And deep within the alien consciousness, a realization formed. Humans could not be predicted, could not be crushed, and their resilience was more than survival. It was a living, breathing defiance that threatened to reshape everything the aliens thought they knew. Elara gazed out at the stars. "Tomorrow the universe will test us again, but we endure, and every test only makes us stronger. Every choice, every spark of courage adds to our fire. Somewhere in the dark reaches of space, an alien mind shivered in incomprehension. Humanity was not just surviving. They were teaching the universe a lesson no logic could anticipate. The human spirit is unstoppable. The stars burned like witness fires as the luminaries approached the heart of the Xylar expanse. This time the aliens did not hesitate. Their fleet swarmed. A living, coordinated storm of impossible geometry and alien thought. Every probe, every ship, every mental echo pressed against human minds, testing fear, probing doubt, seeking weakness. But humans were not weak. Elara stood on the bridge, calm but fierce as her crew prepared for the battle they had long known would come. "This is it," she said. "They've learned. They've studied. They've calculated. But they cannot understand the most dangerous thing in the universe." Nico's voice trembled. "And that is..." Elara's eyes burned into the void. "Us, our spirit, our will. Our refusal to be broken. That is why humans survive every threat." The alien fleet struck not with weapons alone, but with reality itself. Gravity bent. Time slowed. Space quivered as if reality itself were a fragile web under alien fingers. Systems overloaded, instruments screamed, alarms howled, but the humans moved with chaos-born precision, improvising, adapting, defying every calculation. Rena, Kale's engineering team rerouted power to shields that had never been tested under such stress. Sparks flew, wires melted, consoles flashed red, but the ship held. Each crew member acted instinctively, trusting not only their training but each other. Each heartbeat, each small spark of defiance. From the void, the alien voice echoed again, sharper, fractured, almost human in its awe. "Impossible. You survive. You endure. You persist." "Why? How?" Elara stepped forward, hand resting on the central console. "Because we must. Because even when everything is lost, we rise. Because fear may exist in our minds, but it does not rule us. Because no force in the universe, no mind, no fleet, no God, can control what it cannot predict." The aliens faltered, not physically, but mentally. Every calculation they had made unraveled. Humans did not act predictably. They faltered, they stumbled, they cried, but they rose again. Their resilience could not be reduced to equations, their courage could not be measured. "In the chaos," Nico shouted, pointing to a massive gap in the alien formation. "Captain, if we move now, we can split their fleet." Elara's lips curved into a determined smile. "Do it. Every risk we take is a choice for life. Every choice is human." The luminaries surged forward, weaving through the alien fleet with a combination of daring and desperation no computer could emulate. Explosions bloomed in brilliant arcs. Alien ships faltered under misjudged assumptions, and chaos became humanity's greatest weapon. And then, something remarkable happened. Across the fleet, alien projections shivered, fragmented, recoiling from the human unpredictability. For the first time, the aliens understood in some small way the truth. Humans could not be broken. Not by fear, not by logic, not by the universe itself. Elara's voice rang over the comms to her crew. "Look around you. Every scar on this ship, every scratch, every failure, is proof we endure. Every life we save, every challenge we face, is proof we are unstoppable. Humanity survives because we refuse to surrender to the impossible." The alien fleet recoiled, leaving the humans room to escape, but they did not attack again. They did not pursue. For a moment, the void was still, and in that silence, the galaxy seemed to shift. Somewhere deep in alien thought, a single realization burned brighter than any star. Humans are not merely a species. Humans are defiance incarnate. Humans cannot be predicted, controlled, or crushed. To face them is to face chaos itself, and to learn fear. On the bridge of the Luminaris, Elara exhaled, weary but triumphant. Her crew gathered, eyes wide, hearts pounding. They were battered, bruised, and exhausted, but alive. Nico smiled faintly. "Captain, we did it." Elara shook her head slowly, staring at the endless stars. "No, they did not break us. Not the storm, not the fleet, not the universe itself. We did this because we are human. And humans survive, always." A quiet cheer rose from the crew, small but bright, a single spark of hope blazing against the void. Far away, beyond comprehension, alien minds lingered, awed and terrified. They had faced a species that no strategy could defeat, a force no calculation could contain, a life form that endured not because of strength alone, but because of spirit, hope and unshakable resolve, and somewhere, in the uncharted reaches of the galaxy, a whisper echoed through the stars, carried by every probe, every mind, every consciousness that had glimpsed humanity. This is why humans survive. This is why no threat is final. Because the human spirit cannot be extinguished. The Luminari sailed on, battered but unbroken, carrying the flame of humanity into the unknown, leaving a single truth in its wake. No matter the darkness, no matter the odds, humans endure always.